Hello, this is Nuno from Top Quadrant, and in this video we're going to show you how you can use content tag sets for auto-classification. In the previous video, you've seen how you can use Corpora to set up different connections to your data. Each corpus is meant to represent document collections that you might have in your company, and for this video we're using a set of documents from the Federal Reserve Board. In this video, we're going to focus how we can use content tag sets to connect your corpus to your ontology or taxonomy that describes the domain. First, let's have a quick look at the ontology that we're going to be using, and this is the MAKO taxonomy. The MAKO taxonomy contains concepts from different economic domains. The Journal of Economic Literature classification system includes different classifications on economics topics. For instance, if we look at macroeconomics and monetary economics, we can find different concepts about consumption, saving, production, and so on. We can also look at different organizations from the economics domain, and for instance here we'll find concepts about banks and further detailed about central banks, commercial banks, and so on. Next, we're going to create a content tag set. For this video, we'll be using two different content tag sets. The first content tag set will be our training set that we can use to train the model. The second one will be used to apply the model and generate tag recommendations for the full set of documents. Let's have a look at our training set content tag set. When you open the content tag set editor, you're shown this interface. On the left-hand side, you can search for any documents in your corpus. The central panel is reserved for displaying the information about the document that you've selected, and on the right-hand side you can browse the taxonomy that you want to use for tagging. For instance, if I search for banks, I'll be presented with a list of documents that contain the word banks in some text. When I select a specific document, the middle panel shows the details about the document. These are the same details that you see in the corpus editor. We also have this panel that shows the topics that are assigned to this document. I can remove a specific topic by pressing the remove tag. And the way we add new tags is by searching on the taxonomy on the right hand side. If we know the location of a specific concept, you can navigate to it. So for instance, under organizations, we have the concept bank, and we can directly navigate to it. The bottom of this panel is actually populated with some description about the concept that we've selected. If I want to assign the selected concept as a tag, I can press the Add Tag button, and the selected tag is associated with the selected document. If I want to search for concepts in the taxonomy, I can switch to the concept search. Here I can use free text search to find any concepts that I might be interested in. For instance, if I search for crisis, I'm presented with a list of all concepts that match this search. In this case, I can select a concept from the list, and then, for instance, banking crisis, and directly add it as a tag to the document. If there are still a lot of results to your search, you can also further refine on these results. To find the specific concept you want. You can use this editor to create your training set, but you can also import tags that are already available. For instance, if you're reading documents from a content management system, if the content management system already has some tags available, you can import those. Once you have your training set prepared, we need to go into the Manage tab and configure AutoClassifier. For this configuration, we need to select which properties AutoClassifier is going to look at to build the training model. In this case, we've selected content, file name, and title. You can also change the probability threshold. If you decrease this value, you'll be getting more recommendations, but probably less accurate ones. You should also pick the content language. In this case, we know that the documents are in English. And you can set a limit to the sample size in case you have a lot of documents in the training set. After we save the changes, we have the information that 8 resources are tagged with the property topic, and we can start the training. AutoClassifier will start to train your model, and then we can reuse this model in the other content tag sets. Once we have the model ready, we can create a new content tag set, in this case for the full set of documents. We're going to be using the corpus that we created and contains the full set of papers, and using again the Mako taxonomy as the tagging vocabulary. In this case, I want to include the asset in Search the Edge. When we create a content tag set, there is a second configuration screen that allows you to pick the tag property. By default, Edge provides the topic property, but you can define new ones and use these for tagging and getting suggestions from AutoClassifier. If we go to the editor, a quick search will show us that we have access to the full set of documents, the 713 documents. Before we can use AutoClassifier, we again have to go into the Manage screen and configure AutoClassifier. We have the same set of options as we did for the training set, picking the properties we want to look at, the probability threshold, and the language. Once we save this, you'll notice that we're not allowed to train this model because we don't have any tags in the document. What we want to do in this case is actually reuse the model that we trained for the training set, and we do that by selecting the appropriate content tag set from this drop-down list. After we do this, we can go to AutoClassifier and start running AutoClassifier. At this point, AutoClassifier is passing all the documents in the corpus through the previously trained model in order to retrieve tag recommendations. Once the AutoClassifier job finishes, you'll have access to the tag recommendations. By default, AutoClassifier uses a new workflow to store the tag suggestions and allows users to review these results. If we deselect this box when running AutoClassifier, all the tag suggestions will be directly committed to the production copy. To review the tag suggestions, users are presented with this screen where for each document you'll see a list of tags that may already exist in production and a list of proposed tags from AutoClassifier. For each proposed tag, you have the option to approve or reject them. And if you need to review the document itself, you can click on the document title. This will send you to the editor, where you can view the contents of the document along with the suggested tags. While training the model, users are encouraged to validate a few of the tag suggestions. For instance, if you find that some tags shouldn't be associated with the document, you can reject it directly. Validating a subset of these documents is usually enough to get a sense of how well the model is behaving. Once you've done this, you can approve all the changes, and this will commit the tag suggestions into production. At this point, if we go to the editor, you'll see the tags that were suggested by AutoClassifier are now available in the production copy. One simple benefit of using AutoClassifier is to enhance your search engine. In this case, Search the Edge actually reuses the tags generated from AutoClassifier to show some facets. For instance, if I search for banks, you'll not only see a list of documents that match banks, but you'll also see different facets that are pulled from the Mako taxonomy. And you can further use these to filter the documents. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Top Quadrant.